Hello everyone, this is Joe with Insurance Toolkits, and I wanted to cover a final expense topic today that I've seen quite a bit recently in the support chats, via email, a number of different ways, and I wanted to kind of clear things up on how it worked. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to enter COPD as a health condition here. We'll say date of last treatment is today, so they're taking their inhalers every day. We'll say they were diagnosed, we'll just say like last year, so 2020. Do they use a nebulizer? In this case, we'll say no. Now, do they take 3 or more medications for any lung or respiratory disorder? Now, we're going to say no to this for now, and we're going to run the quote. So when I do that, you can see that Aetna Protection Series comes up preferred. So this is, in contrast to most carriers where you're going to have to look at least standard. There's one carrier out there where you can get it preferred if the date of diagnosis was far enough back, but we put in COPD here and we're seeing a preferred result. So why is that? So this is a newer product, the Protection Series, that came out several months ago, and it has the same questions as the Medicare Supplement product. So one of the questions on the application is, because there's no mention of COPD, emphysema, chronic lung disorder, nothing. The question on the app is, do they use 3 or more inhalers for any lung or respiratory disorder? Now that's kind of a roundabout way of saying, in this case, do you have COPD? Because almost by definition, people with COPD are going to have, even if they claim they're not using 3, they're going to have 3 different fills on their, on their fill list that the insurance company will see when they do the RX check. So even if they say they're only taking albuterol as needed and Spiriva, there's going to be I can almost guarantee it, there's going to be 3 or more on their fill list. So when we go back up to this here, you can see the question all revolves around, do they take 3 or more? So you should be very careful when you answer this question for Aetna Protection Series, because even if the client doesn't think they're taking 3 or more, the chances are they are. So you always want to follow up with, have you had any other inhalers recently where you switched? Is there any inhaler that you keep in your, you keep a fill of but you don't use regularly? Because that's what comes up on the RX check, and that's what will give the decision. The other thing to note is, and we'll just run that here. So if I answer this yes, and I run the quote, it'll decline Protection Series because 3 or more medications for lung and respiratory. Now, if I enter just Spiriva here, and I run the quote, it will show, and it won't ask me the question. So if you're entering inhalers manually, make sure you're entering every single one that the person can remember as of, the recent time frame, because that's what's going to determine the result. So when you're running stuff through the software, most agents are using the Ascendo product primarily and aren't as familiar with this product. So just remember, even though they don't ask about COPD, 95% plus of people with COPD are going to have more than 3 fills of inhalers on their script for different name brands and generics, whatever else. So I would be very, very careful with submitting COPD cases to Protection Series, and I haven't even heard of any cases of someone getting approved yet. So just be very careful with that. This is a correct result in the software, assuming they have less than 3 inhalers on their fills, but you don't have a real great chance of getting it approved. So if you have any questions about the way this or anything else in our system works, feel free to send us a message on our CRISP messenger here, or you can send us an email at contact@fextoolkit.com. Thanks.